Today's episode, we're going to talk about our third core value here at Business Marketing Engine, which is teamwork. And I'm going to explain to you how that applies to how we operate. And I'm also going to share some examples with you that will hopefully help you understand why it's so important to clearly list out, document, and talk about on a consistent basis what your core values are. So stay tuned and we'll get right into it. So all of this week, we've been talking about why it's really important to have core values and guiding principles. And our third core value, because we only have three, is teamwork. And our core values, like I mentioned earlier this week, they really are kind of like the overarching broad umbrella of how we should think and operate and who we are and what our values are. And then our guiding principles are way more specific and a little bit more tactical, and they actually help us make informed decisions when we're faced with a situation where we're not sure what to do. But teamwork, and you can view this right on our site, all of our core values and guiding principles right under the About Us section on businessmarketingengine.com. Under teamwork, it says, work with others, be open-minded, collaborative, and creative. And sometimes spelling something like this out at first to me seemed like kind of stupid or silly, because I was like, well, of course, we have to be a team, we have to work together, and we have to do all these things. But that was an example of me making an assumption that the team members that joined us, the clients that we partner with, had all had the same experience as me and had the same values and expectations. And anytime we make assumptions, it just leads to trouble. The old saying, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. I always remember that. And it just reminds me that when we think that way, we're just setting ourselves up for failure. We're creating, problems in the future. So spelling things out clearly gives you something, again, external to reference. It externalizes things instead of it making it sound like it's personal from you. It moves it out into the arena of, here's the culture of our organization. Here's how we operate. Here's the expectations we have. And all of these core values and all these guiding principles are not only how I expect my team to operate, but they're a reminder and a personal accountability point for me, because anybody on the team can say, well, this is what's in our guiding principles, so maybe that's the direction we should go if I'm off track. And it also just helps me look at them and go, you know what, I'm frustrated with the situation, or this is the challenge, or here's the things going on, but here's how I know I want to operate. And it kind of guides me back on track. And the reason that this is such an important core value for us of teamwork is because I believe that no matter what role you have in a company, you need to be willing to do whatever it takes to help the team be successful, to help your clients be successful, and ultimately to make your company grow and be successful, because those are all intertwined together. And we'll talk about this later in one of our guiding principles, but we have a tool and a concept here that we call the circle of life. And it says we make decisions based on what's best for the company, what's best for the team and individual team members, and what's best for the client. Because if we make decisions that help the company, we can pay our team and take good care of them. If we make decisions that take good care of our team and individual team members, they're going to take great care of our clients. And if our clients are taken great care of, they're going to pay the company. And it's a never-ending, fortuitous circle of life. And so in all of our job descriptions here, we have a line that at the bottom that says, and, after all their responsibilities and everything they're supposed to do in their role, the last line says, and, you're responsible to do anything to help BME be successful. And that is on my job description too. And so as an example, like earlier today, one of my team members lost internet and power at one of the worst possible times, because we were wrapping up a big presentation for a client. And they immediately, it was a struggle, but they figured out how to get some cell service, and they messaged me and said, here's where things stand and I'm stuck and I'm going to need help. I said, no problem. I'm going to jump in and help you. And for me, as CEO, as founder, as the entrepreneur here, it doesn't matter what's going on. I am more than willing to do anything I can do to make the team successful. And I have had that attitude for years, decades really, because that's the attitude and the mindset and the values that my grandfather instilled in me. And so it didn't matter if I've worked a couple of jobs over the years. One time I was working in a auto repair center, big national chain. And one of my guys, was having trouble, so I helped him put the tires on. I changed oils. I did all the different things that need to be done to help make the whole team successful, even though I was technically just supposed to be a service manager and I wasn't supposed to touch the vehicles. It wasn't part of my responsibilities. I said, you know what, if we're stuck, we're going to work together and get through it. And so the old saying, like, you should be able to clean the toilets if you're the CEO. I believe that applies literally and figuratively. It means that you have to be willing to do whatever it takes to help the team be successful, even if it's inconvenient, you don't love it. Maybe you're not great at the role, but it's just the mindset that we are a team and we are going to work together, and everybody is responsible to do everything they can to make the team successful. So working with others, jumping in is a huge part of it. Being open-minded is key. And this is something that not only do I, share with the team and ask them to always be open-minded to new solutions and new ways of doing things, but it's something I have to remind myself of even more, because when you start a company, you're doing all the jobs, you're creating the processes, you're selling, you're doing everything. And so you come up with a set way that works for you. But in reality, when you get down the road a little bit farther, you're going to find that there's some things that you're doing that just aren't effective anymore. They're not efficient. And so it's very important when you're in a leadership role to be open-minded to whatever your team has to share with you, to be open-minded to when your clients give you feedback, even if you don't like it, because that's what helps us grow and improve. And it really is a part of teamwork. Being collaborative and creative, the last couple words that we have in this core value, just mean that we're always going to find ways to contribute. We're going to be open-minded. We're going to brainstorm ideas. We're going to take good and, critical feedback. And then we're going to say, okay, here's where we stand. How can we creatively get to the goal, to the destination, to the delivery date? How are we going to make this successful? Because there's times where things that have worked perfectly and have delivered amazing results in the past just don't work. And we don't always know why, or something's changed, in processes or in the market. And so in order to overcome that, we have to be creative. And being creative, which I talked about, I think it was last week on the show, but it's been the last couple of weeks. Being creative is just having the ability to get a lot of good input and then put the pieces together in a new way so you can solve the problem. So you're not born creative or not creative. All of us have creativity. It's just a matter of being willing to invest in good input, good ideas, good exposure to new things that will help us solve problems, as we run into them. And so core value number 3 for us here at Business Marketing Engine is teamwork. Work with others, be open-minded, collaborative, and creative. And that is one of the core values that really glues our team together, helps us serve our clients, and helps us move forward on a daily basis. So for you, like I asked yesterday, just share down below, what's one of your core values or maybe one of your guiding principles that helps you really, bring your team together, helps you stay on track, holds you accountable to the kind of behavior that you want to be engaging with. I'd love to see what yours are, even if you haven't formalized them or share with your team. I'm sure there's things that you're just like, this is who I am, this is how I show up, and this is how I operate. Go ahead and share those down below, because I'd love to read them. And if you want examples and if you want just kind of a structure to help really formalize guiding principles that will help your company, head over to businessmarketingengine.com, look under the About Us section there, and you'll see all of ours listed out. And you're more than welcome to model after those and use them so that you can help serve and grow your team. I appreciate you taking time to tune in. And tomorrow we're going to talk about our first guiding principles, which is the first of our guiding principles, which is relationships first. So we will see you on the episode tomorrow.